Something big is happening beneath the surface of AFX, and it's not just price action or a temporary wave of hype. It's the foundation of a new kind of crypto ecosystem that might one day rival giants. But to understand where this is going, we need to zoom out and ask a simple question. What is an ecosystem in crypto? And why is AFX building one now? In traditional finance, ecosystems are composed of interlocking institutions, banks, lenders, payment processors, traders, regulators, each fulfilling a role in a much larger machine. In crypto, that machine is decentralized, agile, and constantly evolving. An ecosystem isn't just about technology, it's about incentives. Traders need a reason to hold, developers need a reason to build, partners need a reason to join, and AFX is quietly giving them all three. At the heart of the AFX ecosystem is its native token, $AFX, not just a speculative asset, but a utility token that fuels everything: staking, governance, cross-chain liquidity, AI bot access, referral systems, NFT gating, and eventually more than we can currently see. This isn't by accident. The developers behind AFX know that lasting success means moving beyond a token and toward an entire framework of products and tools that reinforce one another. But what really makes AFX unique is its blend of modular simplicity and layered complexity. To the average user, it's a staking dashboard. To a trader, it's a DeFi yield engine. To an investor, it's a CX accessible low cap with massive upside. And to a developer, it's a programmable platform where utilities can be layered on demand. This modular structure is what allows AFX to move faster than most projects. It's why you're seeing new features, new staking logic, deeper referral incentives, and more integrations almost every few weeks. Yet, ecosystems don't grow in a vacuum. They require inputs, partnerships, on-ramps, utility tokens, incentivized users. And that's exactly where AFX is showing its sharpest instincts, launching in stages, not with hype, but with structure. Everything from the referral trees to lock staking to NFT-bound AI bots is part of a larger plan to build retention at every level of the user journey. That's how ecosystems grow, not by going viral, but by staying sticky. Consider the layers. There's the user layer, the people staking, trading, and spreading the word. Then the dev layer, the tools being built around it. Then the DeFi layer, where liquidity is provisioned and yield optimized. Then the AI trading layer, a futuristic use case few other projects dare to tackle. And soon, there could be even more: real-world assets, merchant integration, off-chain utilities. AFX is setting the stage. But how does this all benefit price? Simple. Ecosystems absorb volatility. They create demand through use, not speculation. And the longer people stay in the ecosystem, the harder it is for them to leave. AFX is building an ecosystem that doesn't just invite you in, it makes you want to stay. That's a powerful force in a bear market, but an explosive one in a bull. What you're seeing right now, the staking, the referral tree, the AI bot, is just layer 1. Over the next months, layer 2 and 3 will follow. And if history is any indicator, those who get in at layer 1 tend to benefit the most. That's not financial advice. That's just how adoption curves work. So when someone says AFX is just another token, they're missing the forest for the trees. AFX isn't just a coin, it's becoming a digital economic zone. And once the bridges are fully built between traders, bots, holders, and partners, it could evolve into one of the most compelling micro ecosystems in the entire crypto space. But the key word is could, because as always, execution is everything. Ecosystems don't grow because of hype. They grow because people build things on top of them. And that's where AFX begins to separate itself from the sea of low-effort projects. It's not just launching features, it's building the infrastructure for other people to build with it. This is the hidden power of a real ecosystem. It turns every user into a potential architect. Take the NFTs. At first glance, they seem like digital collectibles. But in AFX, they're keys, access tokens to utility. Some unlock staking boosts. Others gate entry to AI bot usage. Soon, we might see NFTs that unlock liquidity vaults, early phase token airdrops, or even governance privileges. These NFTs don't just look pretty, they do things. And in an ecosystem, utility is king. Then there's the referral tree. On paper, it's just a bonus system. But in practice, it's infrastructure. Every level of the tree incentivizes holding, staking, and expanding. It rewards the behaviors that ecosystems need to grow: network participation and financial commitment. And the longer that tree survives, the more it becomes an organic structure, like roots beneath the soil, that nourishes the token economy. But it's the bot layer that may prove most revolutionary. Because AFX isn't just building passive staking. It's introducing active, AI-powered, real-world utility. The trading bots, available only to those who engage the ecosystem, are more than a feature. They're a preview of the future, DeFi that trades itself. A future where your wallet isn't just a store of value, it's a smart trader. And your AFX token is the key to it. And the best part? These bots aren't just locked in a dashboard. The devs are building SDK access, modular wallets, and bot-as-a-service APIs, infrastructure that can plug into wallets, partner projects, and even third-party dashboards. This turns AFX into something rare, a platform with exports. Most projects only build inward. AFX is building outward, a sure sign of a maturing ecosystem. Now let's talk incentives. Because ecosystems without aligned incentives collapse. AFX understands this, which is why it structured every layer to reward loyalty, lockups, and circulation control. Stackers are rewarded with multi-tier compounding. Referrers are incentivized with geometric bonuses. NFT holders get early access and AI perks. And all of this flows back into the token. More use equals more hold equals less sell pressure. Even the early CX listings are part of this plan. Most tokens list, pump, and fall. But AFX used CX exposure strategically to introduce a controlled leak into the public markets while preserving deeper staking within the platform. It's a slow release system, one designed not to explode, but to accumulate. That's how long-term ecosystems grow. Slowly, quietly, but powerfully. Look at Ethereum. Look at Cosmos. Look at Avalanche. They didn't become ecosystems because of price. They became ecosystems because they gave others a reason to build. AFX is positioning itself the same way, as a platform, a launchpad, a liquidity system, and a utility network all in one. And it's doing so with remarkable speed and focus. We're witnessing Layer 2 begin. NFT utilities expanding, bots evolving, referral trees deepening, all while the dev team continues to ship updates, fix bugs, and iterate weekly. This level of output isn't common, and it's a major signal that the team is serious about scaling, not just selling. Remember, ecosystems aren't about how many people hear about your project. They're about how many people stay. And AFX is designing a retention loop that could outperform even larger cap platforms over time. Why? Because every piece of this ecosystem fits into the next like clockwork. No wasted motion, no fluff, just utility, value, and flow. As the clock ticked into Q4 of 2025, a new dimension began shaping AFX's trajectory, one that transcended traditional tokenomics. With US regulators tightening their grip and global watchdogs circling Web3 projects like Hawks, AFX's developers pivoted to what some called their regulatory flanking maneuver. It wasn't just about compliance. It was about survival and smart positioning. Hong Kong's recent embrace of crypto, particularly toward licensing virtual asset trading platforms, suddenly turned from global footnote to centerpiece of AFX's global chessboard. The speculation wasn't about whether AFX could follow the others who flocked there. It was whether they were already being quietly courted behind the scenes. Behind closed doors, whispers spread. AFX's legal advisory team had allegedly opened dialogues with Hong Kong's SFC. This wasn't confirmable on-chain or in news leaks, but clues were there. Strategic API integrations timed perfectly with HK's FinTech Week. Subtle tweaks to white paper language mentioning APAC regulatory partnerships, and a few now-deleted Telegram messages from insiders hinting at a dual market play by end of Q1 2026. If AFX locked in regulatory shelter in a jurisdiction that respected decentralized finance and actively encouraged DeFi innovation, it could become a bridge for global liquidity to enter, without the red tape choking innovation in the US and EU. The timing wasn't accidental. Just as American investors grew fearful about SEC probes and MetaMask geo-restrictions, AFX leaned into scarcity, not just in supply, but in availability. Their tokenomics team had already enforced a deflationary model with controlled emissions and locked LP staking, but now, with iOS issues cutting off one major avenue of selling pressure, AFX's core holders saw this as a blessing in disguise. If they can't dump, we can stack, became a quiet rallying cry in Discord, and it echoed louder in the data. On-chain metrics showed a 19% increase in DX accumulations on Android-heavy regions. Southeast Asia, India, and parts of Africa all saw a rising wallet activity. This leads us to one of AFX's most unspoken advantages. It's engineering liquidity not from hype, but from necessity. When most tokens run pumps through whale coordination or influencer push, AFX found a unique situation where user constraints, bugs, platform exclusion, missing cell access created a synthetic scarcity. Of course, this isn't ideal in the long term, but in the short term, it's helping price stabilization while they fix the tech. And to sharp traders, that screams entry zone. Meanwhile, DeFi whales from Korea, Malaysia, and Taiwan had started placing bets. On-chain sleuths picked up 5 wallets, transferring stablecoins from Binance to AFX-compatible DXs via bridging tools. These weren't $200 wallets either. Some pushed over $40,000 in early October, seemingly unaffected by the app glitches, likely accessing through APIs or Android emulators. It showed belief, not in the perfect app, but in the ecosystem's inevitability. AFX wasn't competing in the same space as meme coins. It was building an asset-backed economy, where utility and governance intersected under layers of composability and smart contract flexibility. Let's talk realpolitik for a moment. Asia is hungry, not just for AI, gaming, and NFTs, but for stable, yield-generating DeFi with transparency baked in. AFX's roadmap leaked earlier this quarter suggested they were considering staking pools in HKD and SGD pairings, possibly aligning with future compliance-led DeFi portals. Think of it like a Coinbase XDX hybrid, permissionless to users, but verified on back-end rails for governments. If that becomes real, AFX would offer something neither SushiSwap, nor Curve, nor Uniswap ever did: country-level recognition with grassroots-level accessibility. This is more than speculative. On the tech side, AFX's decision to integrate regionally compliant KYC frameworks was both risky and genius. By allowing optional identity tagging tied to regulatory nodes, they opened doors for sovereign capital to one day participate: pension funds, state-backed fintechs, even university endowments. And that's where the narrative flips from small-cap gamble to long-term institutional curiosity. Because once a token proves it can survive both regulation and user volatility, it becomes a signal of maturity, and institutions love signals. Liquidity-wise, this all feeds into the bigger picture. DeFi is suffering in 2025. TVL is down. Confidence is shaky. But AFX stands almost alone in engineering a bottom-up liquidity engine. Incentivized holders, ecosystem staking, real scarcity from bugs ironically acting as short-term barriers to sell off, and now potential regulated bridges into APAC finance. It's the opposite of hype-driven pumps. It's organic, patient, and, most importantly, resilient. And here's the kicker. The next bull narrative could be compliance-powered decentralization, where apps like AFX show that it's not about being against regulation. It's about outmaneuvering the slow systems by being flexible, borderless, and future-ready. If they can capture just 0.1% of Asia's DeFi volume by mid-2026, AFX would be valued far above its current $0.08260 mark. And if those regulatory conversations turn into licenses, gateways, or even integrations with legacy banks, that's when we stop talking cents and start talking dollars. It's 2026. The AFX price is no longer 8 cents. It's a memory. The charts look like fossils of volatility. But the real transformation isn't on the graph. It's in the infrastructure, the culture, and the ecosystem built in the shadows while the rest of crypto chased hype cycles. If everything that's been in motion over the past year clicks into place, then AFX becomes more than a token. It becomes a blueprint. The story begins with ecosystem expansion. While many projects crumble under the weight of their own overpromises, AFX took the opposite route: under-promise, over-execute. A fully decentralized AI trading bot with transparent on-chain logs, real-world asset-backed vaults for stackers, a multi-chain swap function integrated into their core UI, all shipped or quietly in beta by Q2 of 2026. But what truly separates AFX now is its composability, the ability to connect its protocols, governance layers, and AI agents across blockchains, across jurisdictions, and across use cases without compromising security or decentralization. By leveraging smart contract modularity, AFX enabled third-party developers to build micro-D apps that plug into its treasury, staking pools, and AI intelligence. What began as a single DeFi product transformed into a toolkit. Now, indie developers in Vietnam, Nigeria, and Chile build trading dashboards, microlending apps, and even prediction markets on top of AFX's rails. The network effect isn't based on marketing, it's based on utility. This utility drives value. As more builders plug in, more liquidity flows in. With liquidity comes volume. With volume comes demand. And with demand comes price pressure. But the genius of AFX's supply model is that it's not just about price appreciation, it's about reinforcing feedback loops. Every transaction that routes through an AFX integrated dApp kicks a small percentage into a burn vault or staking reward. Every staking epoch adjusts dynamically based on real-time volatility across all integrated markets. And every governance proposal, voted on through locked tokens, directs not just platform features, but capital flow across the ecosystem. What happens next is where the price story becomes legend. Because when infrastructure matches adoption, and adoption begins influencing real-world behavior, you cross into something rare, relevance. Take this. A freelance AI designer in Malaysia no longer stores value in fiat or even ETH. She routes her income through an AFX-backed stable pool that yields 7% APR while giving her instant liquidity for FX swaps. Or a retired engineer in Greece who uses AFX's mobile wallet to stake into carbon offset smart bonds and earns yield while reducing environmental impact. Or the trader in Lagos who automates his entire Forex swing strategy using AFX's open-source AI bot, paying just a fraction of the gas costs versus Ethereum. These aren't visions. They're use cases already in pilot with community nodes. And with every new user, the centralization risk decreases. AFX isn't tied to a single entity, not even the founding devs. Governance sits across dozens of multi-sig wallets. Delegation comes from actual activity, not just bag size. And the most loyal users? They're rewarded not by being early, but by being active. This incentive realignment shifted the psychology of the community. Instead of sell and run, holders are building, testing, translating, sharing. Because now, holding AFX isn't just holding a token, it's holding permission to shape what comes next. But what about the price? Let's talk numbers, even if speculative. AFX finishes 2025 with a circulating supply of 100M and fully diluted at 200M. Its user base crosses 500,000 verified wallets. Ecosystem TVL hits $300 million. If the token retains its 2.5% staking yield and continues locking 30 to 40% of supply in governance and vaults, that's a circulating float of less than 60 M by mid-2026. Add rising DX demand, the likelihood of iOS access returning, and potential integration with larger APAC exchanges, the market begins to price not just the asset, but the network. 25 cents is realistic. 50 cents is within reach. And a black swan listing on a top 3CX? That's where $1 becomes visible on the horizon. Yet even if that doesn't happen immediately, the protocol is designed to last. That's the final note. AFX doesn't burn out in a 6-week hype cycle. It expands through alignment, patience, and user-driven development. In a market where most projects vanish within 18 months, AFX has engineered itself to compound. In credibility, in liquidity, in utility, and maybe, just maybe, in value. And so the final question isn't, what is AFX worth today? It's, what kind of world is AFX trying to build? Because if that world wins, the holders, the builders, and even the quiet observers watching from the sidelines, they all win too.